The nightclub is generally regarded as the best overall business in Grand Theft Auto Online. However, getting it to run as effectively as possible is quite a task, especially for newer players. In this guide, I will show you the ins and outs of the nightclub business, a full breakdown of how it works, how to manage it efficiently, and of course, show you just how much money you can make by owning it. If you find this guide helpful by the end, if you could drop a like and subscribe if you're new, that would help me out a lot. To begin working with the nightclub, you'll first need to purchase one. You can find one on the Foreclosures website under the Money and Services tab on your phone. Location is important with this business, but not as important as some of the other businesses like the bunker or the CEO cargo warehouses and things like that. I'd recommend getting something relatively centrally located in the city. However, getting a nightclub closer to Vinewood Boulevard isn't a bad idea because you'll be closer to nearly all of the sale missions in the game. I personally use the Mission Road nightclub. The reason being for that is that it has good cover when entering the business, plus it has easy access to the main highway directly out of Los Santos past the casino. But it is close enough to the airport, which you'll have to go to for certain missions involving the nightclub, albeit those missions are generally very rare. Mission Road goes for $1,440,000 for the starting price before upgrades. I would absolutely avoid buying anything more southern than the Mission Row nightclub though. I think anything lower is just simply more out of the way for 95% of nightclub activities. As far as the renovations go, when you purchase your nightclub, you'll be met with many different options. The only one that actually matters and isn't just cosmetic are the extra basement levels. Get as many as you can from the start. If you don't have enough money for all the floors, you can always add them at a later date. The amount of floors you have directly impacts the amount of storage you have for the illicit cargo in the nightclub basement. The more storage you have means the more you can hold, which means the more goods you can sell at one time, which also effectively means less sale missions entirely, but bigger payouts when you do them. Once you've purchased your nightclub, visit it and you'll have to go through some rather annoying setup missions to get it started, like picking up a DJ from the airport, which turns into a plane crashing, to having to rescue the DJ. Then you're going to have to go and steal a festival bus, which will contain equipment that you're going to use to set up your nightclub finally. Once you've completed these, your nightclub is going to be set up. Next up, we have upgrades, and the nightclub, like most other businesses in GTA Online, has upgrades that can increase the efficiency of the business. Similar to the bunker and MC businesses, the nightclub has three main upgrades: equipment, staff, and security. Now these upgrades can be purchased on the nightclub computer itself or through a master control terminal under the nightclub section. The equipment upgrade will cost you $1,425,000, and the equipment upgrade doubles the speed of accruing goods in the basement section of the nightclub business. This will be essential for making money efficiently as you get further into the business. Next up, we have the staff upgrade for $475,000. This upgrade is going to slow the nightclub's popularity loss, allowing you to have to do less popularity missions less frequently. This comes in very handy and directly allows you to make significantly more money. And finally, we have the security upgrade for $695,000. This reduces the likelihood of nightclub basement raids. Don't purchase this upgrade if you don't have all the floors in the nightclub basement yet though, because without those upgrades, you cannot possibly reach the threshold to get raided anyways. However, once you have all the floors and technicians, as well as the businesses that go with them, 100% buy this upgrade. Now, tying into the security upgrade, if you have a mansion in GTA Online with the security detail upgrade, in conjunction with the nightclub security, you will never get raided again as long as you have both upgrades. Up next, we're going to be talking about storage and garages. Now, with the purchase of a nightclub, you'll get access to 2 garage floors by default when purchasing it. One of these floors is going to house the nightclub sale mission delivery vehicles, which you can purchase through Warstock Cash and Carry. You're going to get the Speedo Custom by default, but you can upgrade to the Mule Custom and Pounder Custom. However, you can actually skip the Mule Custom entirely by not purchasing it on Warstock and only purchase the Pounder Custom instead. Now, the Pounder Custom is big enough to do all of the sale missions, so for the medium-sized sale missions, if you don't own the Mule, you'll just use the Pounder instead. Now, I recommend doing it this way because the Pounder is significantly faster than the Mule Custom, and it also has a lot more defensive measures, and generally it's just a much better vehicle. Now, you can upgrade each of these vehicles individually to make them better for sale missions, and just to reiterate, only buy the Pounder Custom. This way you'll only need to upgrade the Speedo and the Pounder, and you can use them to complete every sale mission in the game. Additionally, Unfortunately, if you have purchased a mule custom already, there is not going to be a way to get rid of it, so please be very careful to not buy one. The second floor that you're going to have available in your nightclub without the garage upgrades is going to house the Terabyte, which is a very useful vehicle overall. However, since the Agents of Sabotage update, the Terabyte can actually now be stored in your Garment Factory property. The Terabyte will allow you to store an Oppressor Mark II as well as launch resupply missions for most of your businesses and exclusive free mode missions that you can use to make money semi-quickly. Additionally, with Agents of Sabotage, you can now install a master control terminal inside of the Terabyte as well. Now, you definitely don't need to buy the Terabyte, but once your business is fully set up and upgraded, it is something that I would recommend getting eventually for most players. Up next, we have to talk about popularity management. Popularity level is what determines how much money your nightclub safe is going to make every in-game day, so keeping it high is extremely important to make money, as the nightclub safe is actually the most lucrative way to make money with the business, since the safe income was increased by 500% in 2023 from a maximum of $10,000 a day to $50,000 a day. The nightclub's popularity bar is split into 5 sections. To make the most money, you're going to want to keep it in the rightmost section at 50% full or more. If it drops to 25%, you will earn $45,000 in 48 minutes, but if it drops below that, it will be $25,000 every 48 minutes. And after that, it loses more and more, so you need to maintain the popularity. There are 3 ways to do this, one of which is easily the best. However, we will talk about each of them. Popularity missions. These are the original and worst way to gain popularity in your nightclub. These can be launched from the nightclub management section of the nightclub computer by clicking Promote Club. These missions are very slow and very boring, and additionally they don't increase your popularity by very much for each mission, and they barely pay anything, so I would avoid doing these entirely. Next up, we have DJ switching, and this is the second best way to manage popularity in the nightclub. However, it's the only method that actually ends up costing you money. Now, the first time you book a DJ, it's going to cost you $100,000, and you're going to have to go and pick the DJ up from a location like the Richmond Hotel or the airport. For the $100,000 price tag though, upon completing the mission, your nightclub will go from 0 to full popularity. However, once you've done this once, rebooking the DJ will only cost you $10,000 each time, and you won't have to go and pick them up. However, this will only increase your popularity by 1/10 of the popularity bar. You technically can make a profit doing this, but the best way to do this strategy is by doing it when you're at about 90% full popularity. A tip if you do this is to go to the nightclub basement to do it as well, or use a master control terminal somewhere else. If you do it from your office in the nightclub, you're going to have to sit through a cutscene of the DJs making out and hugging each other every single time, and it takes about 30 seconds. But if you go to the basement or a master control terminal, it skips the cutscene entirely. We also have nightclub random events. The best way to raise your popularity by far is by doing these random events that pop up when you enter the nightclub. Now, if you want these to spawn extremely consistently, I recommend entering the nightclub through the service entrance or the garage. And once you begin going up the stairs towards the office, they will spawn in every single time, so long as it's been more than 48 minutes since the last time you entered. These also aren't really random, they literally always spawn if you do the method I'm speaking about, and there are 2 different versions of this event. One being the Kick Out Troublemaker, the best event, where you simply walk up and kick out an unruly customer from the club. This takes like 30 seconds in total, and you're going to get paid $10,000 for doing it. Plus, it will fill your nightclub popularity by 25%. The other mission, which is less ideal, is the Drunken VIP mission, where you'll take a belligerent VIP club member back to their home or to a medical facility. Now, about 50% of these missions will be 1 mile or so away from the club, but the other 50% can be up to 3 miles away. Plus, you have to drive the vehicle, either a Shafter V12 or a Mammoth Patriot Stretch, at less than 80 miles per hour for the entire distance. Otherwise, the car will explode because the VIP will throw up. So I guess the liquor or substance they've consumed are extremely combustible. There used to be a way to exclusively get the Kick Out Troublemaker mission, which was by entering your nightclub in passive mode. However, that has sadly been patched out of the game. The nightclub computer is where things get really confusing really fast, and this is what causes a lot of players to tap out of the nightclub business. But don't worry, I'm going to explain this in detail. The nightclub computer can be accessed from the upstairs of your nightclub office or the downstairs in each of the basement levels, but additionally, it can also be accessed through a master control terminal. We're going to go through the different screens here, and this is the home screen. This allows you to see basic info like how much money your club has made in total, as well as how much popularity your nightclub currently has. Plus, it also allows you to see the capacity and level of each good type in the nightclub basement. The The nightclub management screen allows you to see statistics of your nightclub as well as launch popularity missions. The resident DJ screen allows you to see your current DJ as well as the other ones that you can book. Next up, we have warehouse management, and this is the most confusing of all the nightclub computer screens. And this is where you're going to hire technicians that will passively source goods into your nightclub basement through other businesses that you own. You will have one technician that comes with the nightclub, however the other 4 that you will have to hire will cost a total of about $880,000 once you've got all 4 of them. You can then click on the picture of your available technicians and then click on a type of goods that you want that particular technician to source for you. The types of goods that you can source depend on the other businesses that you own in GTA Online. The best illicit good that you can get them to source is South American imports. They will be able to source this through your ownership of a Coke lockup MC business. Pharmaceutical research is the second best good type and is available by you owning a math lab. Cash creation is available by owning a counterfeit cash factory, and this is the third best option to source. Cargo and shipments are available by owning a CEO cargo office and CEO warehouse. Sporting goods are available by owning a bunker. This is the 5th best option to source. Organic produce is available by owning a weed farm, which is the 6th best product to source, which you should only source if you don't have the previous 5. And finally, printing and copying is available by owning a document forgery office. This one again should only be sourced if you're missing the first 5. Now you can source up to 5 good types at a time as long as you have all 5 warehouse technicians. And once you have all technicians and the corresponding businesses, the total amount of goods that you can source is dependent on how many basement levels you added on the renovation screen that we talked about earlier. And finally, we have the Sell Goods tab. This is where you will go to begin sale missions through the nightclub basement. You can sell your total amount of goods, or you can fill special orders if you have the goods required and get a 10% sale bonus for completing them. I personally don't think this is worth it though, because it means doing more sale missions and also waiting potentially a very long time for suboptimal goods to be sourced. Next up, we're going to be focusing on the nightclub money through the legitimate business of the nightclub. As long as the popularity is full, you will make $50,000 every 48 minutes of real time that you spend in GTA Online, or every in-game day. The nightclub safe is going to max out at $250,000, so you can actually leave the money in the safe and collect it every second or third time you go into the club. This also means that you can technically AFK with the nightclub pretty effectively and come back to $250,000 every time after about 6 hours of in-game time. Of course, this does mean that you will have to do a few popularity increases to get back up to making the $50,000 per day. Overall, the legitimate business of the nightclub is very worth doing daily. It is the highest paying wall safe in the game, while also requiring very minimal effort and work to maintain it. Definitely one of the best passive income sources in GTA Online. Now to break down the nightclub basement's money. The nightclub basement is arguably just as good to make money as the upstairs of the nightclub business. However, it will need to be fully upgraded in order to be competitive with the nightclub itself. And you'll also have to source the best good types. And again, I'm going to go over this one more time. South American imports will make you $270,000 in 1,200 minutes of in-game time. Pharmaceutical research will make you $229,500 in 1,200 minutes. Cash creation will make you $189,000 in 1,200 minutes. Cargo and shipments, or CEO cargo warehouses, will make you $500,000 in 3,500 minutes. And sporting goods through the bunker will make you $500,000 in 4,000 minutes. With the nightclub basement, it's best to sell after that 1,200 minutes has passed, or that 20 hours. Or as soon as South American imports is full. It's not worth switching your technicians to source organic produce and documents while waiting longer to sell. Profit per hour is by far the highest when you sell once South American imports, pharmaceutical research, and cash creation are full, and just rinse and repeat that process. Next up, we're going to be going over the setup of businesses for use in the nightclub basement. Now, the businesses that are used by the nightclub basement technicians to make you money simply need to be set up. That is the only requirement for the warehouse technicians to be able to source a good from each respective business. This means that for the Coke lockup, math lab, counterfeit cash, bunker, weed farm, document forgery office, and CEO cargo warehouse, they simply need to be set up in a functional manner. These businesses do not have to be supplied. They do not have to be making product for the nightclub technicians to be able to get goods out of them. So you can simply buy them, set them up, and never touch them again if that's how you choose to play. There are a couple more ways you can fill up your nightclub basement faster, and one of those is through the Johan missions. Now you can call Johan and request nightclub goods. These missions will typically give you about $10,000 to $15,000 worth of nightclub goods for each one you complete, and they will pay you about $12,500 in cash as well. It's definitely not the best way to make money, so I would recommend avoiding these missions, honestly. We also have business battles, which are free mode events where nightclub good crates will spawn in and you can collect them and bring them back to your nightclub. These pay better than the Johan missions generally, and depending on how competitive people are in a lobby, these might be more worth your time to complete. However, if there's much competition for a particular business battle, most of the time it isn't really worth going for, especially if the business battle location is somewhere like Paleto Bay, for example. When it comes to selling the nightclub basement, you have 3 different possible sale vehicles, but if you listen to what I said earlier, hopefully you only have 2, the Speedo Custom and the Pounder Custom. The Speedo Custom can be used for sale missions with less than 89 total crates, and the Speedo is easily the fastest and best nightclub sale vehicle. If you have the Mule Custom, which I hope you don't, it will be used for sale missions with 90 to 179 total crates. The Mule Custom, as discussed earlier, is the slowest and worst nightclub sale vehicle by far. The Pounder Custom can be used for missions with 180 total crates or more. However, if you don't have a Mule Custom, the Pounder Custom will be substituted in for the Mule if you're selling 90 or more total crates. As I stated earlier, each of the delivery vehicles can be upgraded significantly with performance modifications, as well as defensive measures like top-mounted miniguns, missile launchers, and heavy armor. I highly recommend getting at least the full engine, transmission, and turbo upgrades on all of the vehicles, as they will save you a lot of time in the long run with this business. The good thing with the nightclub is that sale missions will only ever be one sale vehicle, even if you have multiple people in your organization. Something worth a mention here too is that with the addition of the DH7 Iron Mule in GTA Online, that helicopter can be used to pick up the nightclub sale vehicles, so long as the sale mission has one single drop-off. If it has multiple drop-offs, the Iron Mule will not work at all. This can be a great way to save some time on a sale mission if you have it available to you. The Iron Mule also has a missile lock-on jammer, which can help to further protect your sale mission. Additionally, you can also sell in public lobbies to take advantage of the high demand bonus, which will pay 2.5% for each player in the lobby, maxing out at 20 players or 50% bonus. This will help you to make significantly more money per sale mission. Now, if you elect to do this, registering as a CEO and popping Ghost Organization as well as going off the radar with Lester is always a good idea. The longest sale mission you'll encounter will likely be the one that ends in Paleto Bay. Every other one should take less than 10 minutes in total. The most unfortunate part of the whole nightclub business is the fact that your nightclub basement sale missions, Tony is going to take a 10% laundering cut. However, this is only on the first $1 million that you make. So if you sell for $1 million or more, you're still going to only pay that maximum of $100,000. So I guess that's good at least. Now for the money per hour. Running the nightclub basement as efficiently as possible, sourcing the best good types will make you roughly $50,000 per hour. Running the nightclub and keeping the popularity maxed out will make you $62,500 per hour of real time that you spend in game. This means that the nightclub at maximum efficiency, not including business battles or getting paid for kicking out troublemakers, makes about $112,500 per hour of real time that you spend in GTA Online. Pairing the nightclub, which is essentially a mostly AFK business, with other more active businesses can definitely yield great money and profit over time. The nightclub is easily the best business in the game, while also being the most expensive and intensive to initially set up. However, once you've got it optimized and understand how the business works, it's a great business, and I really hope this guide helped to make it easier to understand for you. If it did, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. If you want to know anything about any other business in Grand Theft Auto Online, in the description of this video, I have links to my business guides for all of the other ones. So take a look at that if you're interested. And I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.